Welcome back to another episode of the Bad Influence Podcast. I'm Jordan Banderas. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that follow, subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my episodes. And on today's episode, I want to give my 2 cents about how social media, the internet, cell phones, and pretty much any technology that we have out there has changed the way that we date today. The reason why I want to talk about this is because right now there's a lot of studies, the news are even talking about this, so that's why I want to give my 2 cents. The news are talking about how younger people don't want to date. They're not getting married younger. They're actually waiting until they get older. They're having kids when they get older, which, in my opinion, I don't see a problem with that. But people like to complain about anything, pretty much. So, what exactly is going on? Why are people not wanting to date or anything like that? Because there are other studies or polls or whatever you want to call them that actually show that men and women are deciding to stay single because it's harder for them to actually find the right person to settle down with, which I totally understand. I mean, right now we have the hookup culture, people that just want sex, people that are not emotionally available to be in a long-term relationship. So if you're looking for a long-term relationship and you find somebody that is not emotionally available or ready for that, probably you're going to waste your time. And you don't want to do that, right? Nobody wants to do that. So what I have seen in this type of situation with this information, if you have followed me, probably you know that anything that catches my attention, I start to research. And this particular polls, especially with the news and everything, caught my attention. So I started looking at my friends, I started looking online, Reddit or whatever. And the reason why it's so hard to date, or pretty much what has changed the dynamic when it comes to dating, is the internet, social media, dating apps, and cell phones. Because back in the day, just like 10, 20 years ago, before cell phones were a big thing, in order for you to meet somebody, to date somebody, you will have to go out. Either somebody will actually have to set you up with another person, like one of your friends. They're like, oh my gosh, you're single. I know this person that will be great for you. And they will set you up on a blind date, right? That's how it used to be. Or you will have to go out to a bar, a club, somewhere where people will hang around so you can actually meet somebody. And the problem back then, which is a problem now, is that you will actually have to go and talk to them. You will have to literally impress them with your presence. You will have to dress up. You will have to literally come up to them and be like, hi, I'm Jordan. You had to literally impress them. And then at the end of the night, you may get lucky, you may hook up, or you may get a phone number, and then you will get to know that person. But now, thanks to everything that I mentioned, cell phones, internet, social media, dating apps, you have that on your phone now. Because if you don't want to go out, like during the pandemic, right? You don't want to go out, or you can't go out. You just go online. You go on Tinder. You start swiping right. Yes, yes, no. And then you send multiple messages at the same time. You can literally send the same message to like 20 different people in less than 5 minutes. And there's a big possibility that at least 2 or 3 of them are going to answer, or sometimes even all of them are going to answer, right? So you have this amount of connectivity on your phone with other people that you didn't have that chance with before. And another thing that I see, and it's, I think, the most significant issue in today's dating scene, is that there's 2 types of daters. There's the traditional dater, which is the person that wants to meet one person, get to know them, like see where things go. They want a serious relationship, but they're like old school. They just want to know one person. But now, thanks to everything that I have mentioned, you have the modern dater, the person that wants literally the benefits of a relationship. They want to have somebody next to them. They want to have the sex. They want to have the companionship. They want to have all these things that come with a relationship, but without the commitment. So pretty much they're just using the other person for themselves, to literally get something from them, which I think it's fucked up. Let's be honest, it is. And the thing with the modern daters is that they don't want to settle down, because they see on the internet that there's like so many fishes in the sea. They're like, there's so many options out there. I can't just settle down with one person when I might be able to find somebody that is hotter and may have better traits that I like on this other person, right? So that's what's happening. And another thing that's causing a problem, it's causing a major shift in regards to how we date, is that when the two types of daters meet and they start like dating, usually the actual traditional dater gets hurt, which again, I believe is fucked up, because the problem is that the modern day dater wants this person because they're nice, they give them the attention, they do everything for them, they're like old school, they're like, I'm gonna take care of my partner, whatever. But this person over here, the modern day dater, they still are talking to like 20 other people like if they're single. And that's not fair. That is not fair at all. So that's some of the things that I have noticed that's causing this shift when it comes to dating, where people are like, you know what, I don't want to date. Or if you're a modern day dater, you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna have a big body count. I don't care if I'm a man or I'm a woman, I'm gonna have a big body count. And then they settle probably in like their 30s, 40s. I have seen some people even settling in their 50s because they already literally tried everything and everything. They went through the internet, they got their menu that they get on Plenty of Fish or whatever app you use, Tinder. They finally met the one that said that made them say, you know what, I'm going to settle down. That's what's been happening. A lot of people are waiting for the one, but they want to also meet Mrs. and Mr. right now. And if you're in a similar situation to this, where you don't know how to date or how to do it, you don't want to hurt the other person, but you don't know what to do, here's what I recommend. And this is based on my marriage and how I found my wife, because this is funny actually. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was telling them that I've been married almost 9 years, and they're like, oh, that's a long time. I'm like, what the fuck you mean it's a long time? Like, what happened with the marriages that were like 20, 50, 40, 50, 60 years? They're not that common anymore because of this shift in the dating scene, where people are not wanting to settle down. That's what my friend was saying. And I think it's funny, because thinking that somebody's been married for a long time when it's just 9 years, that's nothing. I still remember when I met my wife. I still remember things that happened like at the beginning of our marriage. So, I mean, we still have long ways to go to say like we've been married for a long time, in my opinion. But anyway, if you are in this situation, like I mentioned, here's what I recommend you to do. And this is what I tell my friends, and it has worked for some of them. Everything depends on how they use these steps and how you use these steps. But the first thing is, like, if you're a modern day dater, you have to be honest. with the person that you're seeing. You have to literally tell them that, and it doesn't fucking matter if it makes you look like an asshole or whatever, but if you tell the other person that you're dating that you want to have your options open and that you're not ready for commitment or anything like that, then tell them. And if they walk away from you, if they're like, you know what, I don't want that lifestyle. If you want to sleep with 20 different people, that's on you, but I'm not going to be part of it. Then let them walk away, because they're actually doing yourself a favor. They're actually walking away from you and letting you live your life however the fuck you want. And for them, for the traditional dater, it's the same thing. If they walk away from a situation like that, then they're going to be able to focus on who they actually want to meet and who they actually is going to give them the time and the effort to get to know them, so they can actually build the connection that they need for the relationship that they want. So that's what you have to do. You have to be honest with each other when you guys are dating. If you're a modern day dater, just say it like, hey, this is the kind of relationship that I want. I want to have like multiple wives, multiple girlfriends, whatever. And then you will see if she wants it or not, or if he wants it or not, and then take it from there. And same thing if you're a traditional dater, you just need to tell them, this is what I want. I want a serious relationship. I want to be exclusive, and all of these things that you want for your relationship to work. And nothing is going to change unless you guys start talking to each other. That way there's no heartbreak. That way there's no complaint about like, oh, that man hurt me and that woman hurt me and all of this bullshit that is happening on social media, because there's so many fucking posts that say like, you can never trust a woman or you can never trust a man. But it's because there's no communication. It's because you don't know what you want as a modern day dater, and as a traditional dater, you want pretty much all the attention on you. But if a modern day dater doesn't want to give you all the attention because they're too preoccupied getting to know 20 other people, and let's be honest, you cannot multitask when you're dating. If you don't believe me, ask my dad. That's how he got caught cheating with 7 different women. And that was before the internet. That was before the internet. He cheated on my mom with 7 different women, had 5 other kids besides me and my brother. So if you want that, just say it. This is what I want, so you don't waste somebody else's time, and vice versa. There's nothing wrong with just saying, this is what I want, this is how I want to live my life. And like I mentioned, if they walk away from you, let them. They're going to find the person that they want. They're going to create or they're going to find the relationship that they want, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. And I have mentioned this to other guys, and they're like, but I'm not a simp. I'm not this. I'm not that. And I'm like, yeah, but if you don't do it like this, you may come off as the asshole. And then again, all men look like assholes because of one asshole. I don't understand that dynamic, how everybody thinks that just because one guy or one woman is an asshole, everybody else is an asshole. I don't understand that. But let's change that. Why don't we change that? Why don't we just become honest with ourselves about what we want, and then we tell the other person, like, this is what I want, and if they're willing to go through it, good. And if they're not, let them walk away. Just let them walk away. Live your life. Date who you want. Let them date who they want. Right? I think that's what's been happening in regards to this change in dating. There's no connection. There's no connection at all. There's no communication. There's no value of the relationship now. And it's all because of the internet. Like, and I'll give you this example. Anytime, and probably you know somebody that has done this. Anytime there's a fight, and I have seen this. I've never done this, but I have seen it with my friends. Anytime they get in a fight with their partner, what do? They go online and start talking to somebody else. So if you want a serious relationship, if you are more of a traditional dater, delete the dating apps. You don't need to be dating 20 different people at the same time if you want a serious relationship. If you want something serious, stick with one person, if that's the person for you. Once you figure out that that's the person for you, you don't need to talk to 20 other people. You don't. Unless you're a modern day dater and that works for you. But if you're more of a traditional way of dating, then it's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for you, because what I did in my in order for me to find my wife, I literally told her, like, this is what I want. I'm not going to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. I want something serious. You in or you out? She's like, yeah, I'm in. So we started to get to know each other. And it's been almost 9 years and it has worked. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk on today's episode. I wanted to give my 2 cents about this. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the growth. Thank you for everything. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. We are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The links are on the episode's description. And here are my final thoughts. When it comes to dating, don't just follow a social media trend. Do what's best for you. And have a great day.